Hello everyone, this is Marcy. I'd like to welcome you to my channel today. Today we are continuing on working on Roxy's weekly challenge for 2023, and I'm going to be doing her week 2 challenge. I did figure out when I went back to look at all the other videos, there is supposed to be a space between challenge and 2023. Apparently the year is not part of the hashtag. So the hashtag, if you're going to go ahead and follow along or post on social media somewhere, is still just hashtag Roxy's Weekly Challenge, but then a space and then 2023, okay? Today I'm doing episode 2, which she has called One Book Page with Raised Flowers. Again, I don't have a prototype ready because I just get too excited to get going, and so anyway, if you've been out there looking, you can see what it's supposed to wind up like if you want to see a before picture. Personally, I think she could have called it overlapping flowers, and I think that might have been a little bit better descriptor, but the title Raised Flowers had me intrigued, and so when I watched it, once she got going, it all made sense. If you want to make this project, you're going to need some book pages, and then she used large flowers from her digital kits, and I don't have those. So what I have is just a variety of larger sized flowers that this is going to be perfect for this project. And then I brought along some other alternatives. If I decide to use them, then I'll pull those out. Some of them being Tim Holtz people, and some of them are big giant butterflies. So we'll just see where inspiration goes today. And then the other thing that I have is a stack of little papers and things that you can use to embellish the backgrounds, and then small stickers or what have you to put on the background as well. And then of course you need your glue. Maybe if you want to ink, you can certainly get out your ink distress tool and your distress inks and all of that, or washi tape or whatever you want, okay? So let's go ahead and dive right into this project. So again, remembering that the purposes of these challenges are to kind of help you build your stash a little bit and to have things that you can grab and decorate your journals with. We are also going on the premise again that most journals, you're pretty much going to have an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that you folded in half to make your journal pages, and so your pages are going to be about 8.5 tall by 5.5 wide. With that in mind, I went ahead and trimmed down my book pages already so that they are 5 inches wide, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yes. And then these pages here are about 9 inches long. Rachel often uses antique, very old books that have Italian or French on them. If you don't have those kinds of pages, this next step may not be as vital for you, but she starts by folding in the edges to reinforce them. I need to grab my glue page here. So she just folds over the edge and reinforces it. Now I am using here a book that was called Healing for Your Damaged Emotions, so we'll try to make sure that there's nothing too distressing on the back. On these pages. I mean, it's pretty much positive stuff, but hopefully nothing sad will be on there that you won't want to see. The next step is to fold up your book page. You can go a couple of inches or 3 inches, however deep you want, because this is going to form a pocket. And what I am keeping in mind is basically the height of my flowers, because then what we're going to do is take a large flower and glue it down, and then this is going to stick up over this edge, and then when you tuck things into the pocket, you're going to it's going to also go behind that flower. So I would like mine a little deeper because these are pretty big, and I would like to be able to attach as much of my flower as I can to the book page, if that makes sense. Okay, so we'll start with prepping our pages, and then some of my images here are just on plain paper, and so I'm going to want to reinforce them. So then we'll go on to reinforcing the backs. But let's start by gluing down. We'll try for 6. We'll see how we get. But I'm going to glue those edges and reinforce them, and then fold them up lickety split. And like I said, it's purely arbitrary here how deep you make that pocket. So how is everyone's week going? I had my scrapbook, not scrapbook night, it was my craft night. I'm calling it Creatives Night Out, or CNO, but in my mind I just think of it as craft night. So we had our monthly CNO at church, and it was nice because I told you I was wanting to get some better publicity, and I was wanting to ask for it without being super cranky. And that all worked out really well, but then we've been having about 4 come, and according to my pastor, 4 is a really good number based on the number of people in our church and just the general overall response to things. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll look at 4 as a win. You know, I want 15 to 20. But anyway, what happened was we actually had 6 ladies come, which was great. So we increased our attendance by 50%. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we would have actually had 7, but one of the ladies who's come every other time, she was getting carpeting in her house. And so she needed to be there as they were moving all the furniture back in to make sure everything got put in the right spots, which is completely understandable. So that was, she was not going to be able to make it. So we would have had 7, which would have been a 75% increase. So that's pretty awesome. And then I put some flyers out on the table, like where they have just general stuff at church. And so hopefully more, I'm going to cover up depression and guilt. So hopefully more people will pick those up and come next month. Okay, there's that all folded up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Be great if we could do all 7, wouldn't it? I'm going to set those to the side for the moment. Then I'm going to figure out which of these need to be reinforced. And I've got just some plain backing over here that I can glue them down on. I also have some acetate pieces. They're kind of hard to grab, but I think those are going to look really cool on there. And then this one is vellum, so I'm not sure. I don't know if I should back it or not, you know? It's still really pretty, and I could still cut it out. It would give it more durability when it's on the pocket, is my thought. Quickly tell me down below what you think. On the other hand, if I just only glued up this much, it probably wouldn't be a problem. I just like the transparency of the vellum, and so I hate to lose that by putting it on a back. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll just glue it a little further down the page. Okay, so we have these, which a lovely friend of mine gave to me. Thank you. And I am so glad that I have this project to use them. So like I said, Rachel used some of her digital flowers that she has, and they're pretty good sized. So she just backed hers and then cut them out. And she still got done in 40 minutes, but I think that the way my life is, that probably would not be my reality, frankly. Let's see, I don't know, can I get all of that leaf on there? Oh yeah, okay. So I guess I will have to cut these out still though, won't I? Conveniently forgetting that she had to cut her own things out after gluing them to the page. Marcy felt superior. I'm kidding. There you go. Probably not going to worry about this because it'll probably get trimmed off, truthfully. Okay, so these are basically just like fly leaves from books, music books and other things. I think you're going to have to go here. Ooh boy, this scrap of cardstock is just wide enough. yeah, that's all I do. Or, you know, things that you misprint when they go through the printer and they don't quite turn out. You don't have to throw away the papers. You can use them to back things or to put, you know, use them for collage or back, what am I trying to say? If you want to have backing for a pocket or something where it won't show. So it's nice to be able to use every little bit. Okay. So our craft night was a ton of fun. I'm just so glad we were able to do that and have some different people come, and it was just a good positive time. We have a few rules, like no politics, no cranky attitudes, no terrible humor, you know, crudity, that kind of thing. So it was very encouraging to me to have a better turnout this time. Although everyone that's been coming is very enjoyable. Uh-oh. Not fitting. Oh dear. Please don't rip. Now I have to pull it back up. This is really nice paper. I don't know if these came out of a book or just what, but I'm using the Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength Glue Stick. Works great. Although this summer I had the happy discovery that those purple disappearing glue sticks also work really well. And they were, you know, they're cheap when it's time for back to school supplies. Oh, lost a leaf on that. Darn it. Also need some more glue now. Here's where we're going to lose all of our time. Once again, Rachel likes to time herself. I'm not timing myself per se, but just still want to get done in the reasonable amount of time. Okay, you still don't have glue on you. Get glue on you, please. All right. So we woke up to some more snow this morning. Surprise! That's 2 surprise snowstorms this week. But, you know, actually that is consistent for January. Well, it kind of depends. Around here, we either get the snow typically, doggone it, now it's sticking off that end. How did I get that to lay on there? Typically we get the snow at the beginning of the season, like November, and then it doesn't snow again until February. Or it won't snow at all until later in the season, like January or February. So we're kind of getting all of it this year. We had one big year we call the snowpocalypse. That was 2016. And it just snowed buckets and buckets for it started December 3rd and ended like February 2nd. So 2 months straight. The most snow that I had seen since I was like 14. So almost 40 years. I sound like an old timer. I remember when, but I remember the last one because I had to walk to the bus stop in it every day and catch my bus. And it was deep. Okay, there's those. So I'm going to try to cut these out as quickly as I can without, I'm not too precise. You know, when I first got into scrapbooking, I keep saying scrapbooking. Okay, when I first got into making mini albums and journals, they were throwing around this term called fussy cutting, and I had no idea what they were talking about. But essentially, fussy cutting is very detailed cutting in and around an object. I would not consider myself super fussy, but I do try to give it a decent trim, you know, get close enough. So if any of you are hearing that term and you're not sure what that means, the official definition is that you're, you know, doing all of the detailed cutting, and some people really find that relaxing. I guess I don't. When I was doing scrapbooking, they had this thing called paper piecing, which meant you just the companies would just print the designs, you know, on a paper or in the books of different images. Then you had to cut them out and lay them down, and I absolutely hated it because I didn't want to have to cut everything out before I laid it down, before I could glue it down on a page. And yet here I am cutting out these flowers, but these have a different purpose. I wouldn't have cut these out if I didn't need to make them stronger. And I will probably go around and ink a little bit just because they do have a little edge showing where I cut. But if I was truly going to fussy cut, I would cut out all of this part in here and go in between the leaves. And I'm not about that life. I got too many other things to do to worry about being fussy. But when the ladies that have the patience for it can do amazing work, it looks really neat. Yeah, I'm definitely not fast. I'm trying to be fast, but this one has a lot of little edges. It's really pretty. I love these old botanical images of how the flowers used to look, you know, before they've been hybridized and developed and changed over time. They just have such a pretty, I don't know, in some ways they seem prettier, the colors and the patterns. And thankfully we had lovely artists who could draw these things and preserve the images for us throughout the centuries. Okay, good enough. Good enough is good enough. Whew, that was exhausting. Maybe I just should have waited to lay them down on the page to see which part I really want to cut around. But no, we're started. We will go the distance. Yeah, I'm leaving quite a bit of edge, unfortunately. I don't want that leaf. I'm going to cut that one off. Okay, I'm just going to cut around the base here because chances are that's going to get all... Some of that will get cut off anyway. I bet you dollars to donuts. So our kids were able to close on their house purchase, so getting all the paperwork and all the dollars and cents squared away. It is scary. Like, I mean, yes, I have bought houses and I have refinanced. How many times did we decide we'd refinanced? Let's see, I bought 1, 2, 3, 4 houses, yeah, and we've refinanced 4 times. And one of them was a remodel, so we got a construction loan first and then rolled it into a mortgage when the construction was done. Anyway, so essentially, by the time you do all the refinancing and stuff, it's like buying a house 8 times, but the only time we ever literally put money down out of our pocket, I mean, from our account into and signed a check and gave it to the bank was on the first one. And we had $2,000, so we gave it to the bank. And but they, you know, they keep coming back and like, oh, we need this, and the closing fees change, or the title fee, the escrow fee, the blah 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 fee, all that stuff. And boy, their numbers are just so massively huge because houses cost more now. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was getting anxiety just looking at their dollar amounts, but it kept coming back higher than what they were being told. You know, it's always like kind of a crapshoot as to how much the end is going to be. But we were like, just tell them you have X amount of dollars. Because I think we said this on our first house. We have this much money. This is all we have. This is all we're going to be paying you because we don't have any more. There's no magic money tree shaking money down on us. So make the numbers work. However you have to do that to make the numbers work. You figure it out. We're only giving you $2,000. And they did. But we've always rolled our closing costs into the loan. Maybe that's stupid, but that's how we've always done it. And it's it's worked well. And then of course, you know, as you move and you sell one house and then it has equity and then you buy another one, that kind of becomes your down payment, but you never actually see it. So it's all money in theory. Most money is money in theory. It's not actually real. Yeah, so, you know, I'm just like, make it work, and here's how much we want to pay every month. Also, since the financial crash, when the banks decided to start using credit scores so they could still make bad loans, but we won't get on that tangent. They're still not any more responsible in their lending. You know, we've never had to pay PMI, which is insurance for the bank, not for you, so that if you default, they're not out anything. Plus, they still get your house, so I don't know why they're worried about it. They would still have the asset, and they'll still sell the asset. But anyway, it's another way to charge everybody a few $100 extra every month. Just makes me mad how much big business and big banks tend to just prosper off of people who are hardworking and really don't have a lot, you know? It's frustrating. Well, this is a really, really exciting subject. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's all different now. And we've never had to pay PMI, of course, because that wasn't a thing when we bought our first 3 houses. And we always had enough money to roll over or put down that it wasn't required on the last house for sure, because we had equity. We rolled over, so. I will say that was the loan, that house that we're in right now. I was surprised at how quickly they approved it, because I also worked for a credit union and for a bank. When we first got married, I had 2 different jobs with 2 different financial institutions, and so we used to get the verifications that we had to fill out, the verification of account, and the banks, you know, would send that out to see how much is in their account and how much can they actually afford the loan? Like, what are their debts? You had to actually physically list your debts and your cash, your assets, and then they literally made the loan on the basis of whether or not you were solvent enough. They made responsible loans, you know? And people were able to keep their houses. But they just don't do that anymore. So when we bought this house we're in now, I thought I said I wasn't going to cut out around the bottom down there. I wasn't. They approved it really fast. I'm like, geez, they didn't even ask me for any information. No tax documents were given to them, no banking account statements, no nothing. But our kids, I think this guy does more of a manual underwriting style, which manual underwriting just means the way they used to do it before they only counted on credit scores. And so they actually take the time to investigate how much you have. And so, yeah, they had to produce more documentation, but we wanted to help them out a little bit. And so the bank was like, well, don't add any money to your account. Just, you know, have the parents put it in our escrow account. I'm like, no, I am not giving you money. I'm giving my kids money. And you know what? If they didn't buy a house, I'm certainly not going to come give it to you anyway. It's like, no, you greedy sons of a gun. I'm giving it to my kid. But anyway, that created a whole kerfuffle because I gave them a little bit. And then the bank was like, well, you might lose the loan if we find out you have more money than we think you do. I'm like, how is that a negative? In what economy is that a bad thing? Anyway, it was confusing, but we got through it and everybody's good. Kids bought the house. Yay. I still haven't made official plans. I don't know for sure if we're going over to when they move. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about what the next 6 weeks of my life are going to hold. Well, I mean, obviously, philosophically, of course I don't, but I mean, realistically, I still don't. I haven't made any plans for February because I don't know which plan is going to be presented that I want to go with. And then I still wanted to go down to California, see my friend and see some family, but my mom was invited to go. And I said, well, let me check with Kimberly and see if she has a room at her house because you know, I'll be going between two places. And then my mom's like, oh, never mind. I was like, well, I was really kind of hoping you'd come with me. But oh well. So luckily I hadn't bought any tickets or anything yet. But yeah, with all that to be said, I guess if I have the opportunity, I would prefer to go help my kids move than worry about going to California. So therefore, I have not committed to anything at all. I'm gonna ink that in because, is that all of them? Nope, one more. It's still kind of white. I haven't committed to any plan of action yet. Keeping all my options open. Oops, I did not do the best job of gluing, I don't think. Yeah, we'll tack it down later. If I need to go back and catch a couple places, I will. Okay, wow, that probably took a lot longer than it needed to, I'm sure. As always. Okay, so we have our book pages. Oh, got something stuck to it. So what we're gonna do is figure out the flowers and how we want them to look, and then I'm gonna put something pretty back there. Like, how does that look? Ooh, look at that. That's a perfect fit. Nice. And so the part where she says, where Rachel calls it the raised flowers, the book page with the raised flowers, is book page pocket, I guess. I don't know. Is just that your flower sticks up over the edge. So I would call that an overlapping flower myself, personally. I thought, you know, maybe she was sticking them on some kind of dimensional tape or something and raising them up that way. Oh, this one didn't get glued down. Interesting. But that's not what she was doing. She was just having them stick up above the top edge of the pocket, which is super cool. Now my idea for these is that I'm going to use them similar to those pre-done book pages that I have, where you're just going to lay them down on an empty page. So I wanted these to be a little bit bigger. Of course, by the time you fold these up, they're not super tall, but I'm not going to do much to them beyond this part because I don't know what book they'll wind up in. Although it would be very tempting to put some more postage stamps and things on them. I don't think that's really that necessary. I have a few labels and some Bible verses I've typed up, and we'll see. Okay. Oh, and of course it doesn't help when you go back and make it stick up from after you've just glued it down. Now this one is kind of curling just because it was thin paper and I glued it onto some thin paper, and then it looks like it could use just a little more right there. You don't want to glue your pocket shut, but that's it. That's the whole shebang. Okay, I keep bumping those. Isn't that pretty? I hope I'm not shaking you too much. I have this little sticker though, that could go there. Boston Bag Lady has the cutest stickers every once in a while. Is this a sticker? I'm pretty sure I got this from her. It looks like it's just on cardstock, but sometimes she puts these pretty things in with your order. I haven't ordered from her for a while because I'm trying not to buy too much. And she has really good ephemera and things that she finds, old stuff, because she lives on the East Coast, so there's lots of that floating around. Not like out here in the Wild West where nothing made it. Too rough and tumble for all the pretty stuff. Well, really a lot of it is just based on population centers, you know. And it was, Idaho is a rural state, It did not have a lot of population until recently. Okay, so there's that. One. Set that over there. Okay, next. Let's go. Let's try the vellum one. You can also ink around the edges. If you're gonna ink, do this before you glue it down. Ink around. You can back these so that they clip onto a page if you want, especially if your page is not very strong. Okay, ooh, that's pretty. That is so pretty. I think if I put it like that, I think it'll be okay, but I want to put something up here. And I'm thinking maybe that one or this one, which looks to me like a garden trellis. Isn't that pretty? I like that. It brings out the green here. That's all I'm going to do to it. I'm going to rip one edge. I'm just not into inking lately. I don't know why. It's not like I'm against it. I just don't care. Actually, this one I might ink just because it looks kind of blah, but I could tear a little more. And I could use my tear ruler or my decal scissors, but I'm just using my fingers today. Whoops. Okay, that's the one for vintage photo. Here we go. Sorry. This is the one for walnut stain. Okay, I finally watched last night while I was in here messing around, doing stuff. Finally watched from 2002 the movie Road to Perdition. Anybody seen that? And if so, what did you think? It was kind of, I don't know. It was interesting because the guy's a gangster, so it wasn't overly violent in the sense that you had to watch a lot of gore, but I mean, you could tell he was a gangster. But it, oh, well, now I'm putting it on the other side. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. But it was, I guess it was, the word I want is like it was done tastefully. And, so they told the storyline very simply. It was kind of a sad storyline. But now I can say I finally watched it 20 years later. Yeah, that's me. Right up with all the trends. There I am. Okay, there's that. Now I've been sticking these two on the right hand side, but you don't have to. Oh, I'm wondering if I ink that, should I ink the whole thing? Probably. I'm probably committed at this point. I'm using walnut stain distress ink. There's a difference between the inks and the oxides. I don't know. I'm not into mixed media. I missed that trend when I was, because I was working and not doing anything creative. So I don't know. Don't know all the ins and outs of that. But somebody out there does, probably. If you know the difference between the distress inks and the distress oxides. Look at it, I glued these with glue stick and they're not even sticking. If you know the difference between distress ink and distress oxide and their properties and all that, please fill us in. We would love to be in the know as well. This is just so pretty. Aw. I'm wondering, should I make that go off the edge a bit? No, I kind of like the whole iris. I absolutely adore iris. Unfortunately, Marcy's allergic to iris, like a lot. And my mom has a number of varieties that she grows in the backyard. And my aunt, one of my mom's sisters, let's see, my mom's one of 8. 2 of them are brothers, which leaves 5 sisters, right? Am I doing my math right? Okay, I am just gonna fold this up just because it's easier and because I glued it on accident. Anyway, so my mom's sister, my Aunt Beulah, loved to pollinate, you know, play around with pollination. And so my mom has several varieties of iris that my aunt just kind of created them by cross-pollinating the ones she had, and then she would share bulbs with my mom and send them through the mail and stuff. So that's kind of fun, and they're just so pretty. But man, May comes around and the forsythia starts with forsythia in March, and then May is the iris, and June is the cottonwood trees, and yeah, it just keeps going. I don't think I have anything that really would go that's small. I don't really want to put a flower with a flower. It just seems kind of silly. None of these are speaking to me right now. Oh, I could put, this is kind of gray. I could put that label, but that's kind of big. It covers everything up. Could put this little table of, I don't know what they are. They're figures. Looks like it came out of like a farming or trapping book or something. A book on how to trap things. Nah, not doing it. Yeah, I don't have anything really cute. A tiny little butterfly would be good. I do have this. Oh, here we go. That's what I was looking for. This has, it's just a little piece out of a scrapbook pad. It's got a dragonfly and the pen. But you know, I don't think it really adds anything. We're just gonna leave it. Could put a phrase. I'm not that worried about it. We'll figure it out later. Okay, that's 2. I have like 5 minutes on my timer. Great. Okay, definitely want to tack that down some more. I'm just not, what I don't want is a glue problem today. Not interested. Okay, this one's pretty, so you could actually do the decorating down here. Let's see. Let's go with this one. Look at that. Okay, I am gonna have to cut a little more away. Let's do that. And this isn't quite close enough. Oh wow. So this isn't going to overlap a ton, but I like how the leaves and everything line up down here. And actually, you can't really see that very well. So I'm wondering if that should go up there maybe. That's pretty. Yeah, I like that there. And then I want something behind it. So should we put some more of this? Oh, I have like a piece of dictionary or something already torn out. Does that look good? I'd like to put it this way because I think it would fit better, but then all the words are upside down. Not helpful. This is interesting. I like that idea. I just don't like how that one is fitting on the page. So I am going to use some Hebrew. Choose some Hebrew page because it's the right color and it's interesting. Also, it's in these nice little paragraphs, so I can tear it down just exactly right. I just want to see the paragraph, not all that white space there. Isn't that nifty? Okay, and then that's cute. I've been trying to use this little piece for years. Years and years. It says Our Story, and I finally went over it with ink the other day because I was tired of looking at it. That's pretty. Okay. Here we go, carefully laying down. So what I'm going to do first is just tack right back here a little bit. There we go. Then I can glue them down as a whole piece. That way I will get my positioning just right. Gosh, I can't even tell this is really a book page because it's got all the blank space on it. There's my scraper. Yeah, so today's Sunday while I'm filming. Had myself a marvelous nap. It was the best. Probably actually, truthfully, one of the best naps I've had for a really long time. I went to one of the easy chairs and read a book for a while and then relaxed. It was so nice. So nice. I had my blankie, my squishy pillow. Tell you what, naps are the best. And here I am, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, raring to go. Still trying to get recorded ahead, but I'm not having much great success because with 2 a week that I have to record, it's kind of hard to squeeze in another one, truthfully. Truth be told. But I'm still working. I shall prevail. I was thinking if I do Roxy's weekly challenge and then I do, because that would be 1 a week, and then I'm doing more things geared towards my idea book and building my stash. That's the other one. And then that's like, I don't know. I figured out how many in a month each one would be. Roxy's would just be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 times, yeah, I don't know. I figured out I would have a couple extra every month that I could, oh, look what I did. Bad. You put the glue up high. I forgot to figure out where I wanted to place it. I could still do a couple of extra random ones during the month because I don't want you guys getting bored, and I don't want to get bored. No boredom. This is a no boredom zone. Okay, I am going to trim that off. Great. Right about there. Because I don't think it needs all that stem showing. I mean, maybe I could have even put this down further, I suppose, but okay, making sure that's not sticky. Can't have it sticking. That'd be sad. Glue our pocket shut. Kind of defeats the whole point, doesn't it? Okay, let's get the glue there. Put some on this tip. Right there. This is like when you have to vacuum and sweep before you mop. It's like doing the same action 3 times in a row because I glued it and I cut it and I glued it. All to get to the finished product. Okay. Like I said, we can catch the odd and random bits later. There we go. I could put some washi tape right there. Let's see. I have some that has music. I'm going more for the background color on it than anything because I like this brown. Just put a little line of glue so it doesn't pop back up. Making sure my music's going the right way. There we go. There we go. That just kind of anchors that flower so it doesn't look like it's floating in space. Very nice, very nice. Okay, we're at 3. And let's do one of these other like acetate. And also I really want to use this tulip in the worst way. Do I have one that's a little deeper? Because I think that background on that tulip is going to need more behind it to hold it up. Probably this one. Okay, we're going to get smart now. I'm going to do that. I mean, I feel like that was smart. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Yeah, I glued those down, but they're just popping right back up. Interesting. And then if I have this on here, what do I want in the background? Some music would be nice. I have these little strips, you know, that are like cut-offs from other stuff. Do we want the side with the treble clef or the side with the page number? I kind of want it like that. You know what I could do is put this other half down here, and then you would see the Lord is the strength of my life. So the phrase would continue, but it would be like from 2 different spots. Ooh. Let's see, I want something else pretty. This might be a good spot for this because it needs something a little bit darker behind it. Yep, let's do it. It's kind of pale, isn't it? Very pale, but... Okay, now you're not going to be able to read that. There we go. This one might also need some inking, is what I'm thinking. Let's go vintage photo on this one. Yeah, so I mean, even if you sat down and did like 5 or 6 at a time, it wouldn't take you a very long time to do any of these projects, but then you would have enough to do, you know, by the time you get to the end of all the weeks, you'd have enough to do to do several journals, is what I'm trying to say. I can't talk and do an action at the same time. It is beyond me. Which I think is what frustrated my family for a long time, because I'd be doing something and then they'd try to talk to me and I'd be focused on what I was trying to do, and so I could never complete my sentences, as you guys have also discovered on this channel. Yeah, there we go. Okay, similar idea. Let's get these how we want them. Get a tack down back here. And then turn it over. And once again, because I inked the pieces, I should probably ink the whole pocket. Oh, which of course I've already glued that down. You should always follow your own advice. It's always a good way to keep out of trouble. So let me know what you guys think about this. Are you guys doing this series too? Are any of you following along? Building your stash, doing all the things. I tell you, there's not enough time in the day to craft, to work on all the creative-y stuff I want to do. It's very sad to me. Very, very distressing. Okay. There we go. I'm going to give him just a bit around here. They have the connectors around the bottom of their body, but they don't ink up very well, those connecting pieces. Okay, I don't really need to anchor them together before I put them down. That one's easier. But I did mark my line. Probably, that one day I was so far out of frame, and I'm probably overcorrecting today. Okay. Cute. And I want to put, there's a little bit of white right there. We'll darken you up just a teensy bit around the edges, give you some definition. So even though I don't always ink, today it looks like we're doing more inking. It's fine. Just go with whatever you want to do day to day. Okay, so that is going to go like that, and then we'll trim off some of that. Yeah, okay. This is from an old K & Company pack. Okay, so I don't want to glue too far down or too far up. I had a bunch of old K & Company packs I bought for the flowers in the ephemera early on. They're so pretty. Oops, I feel some stickiness back there. Come here. I have these little pieces of acetate that they came off of something, so I hang on to these because they're very handy for putting in between their layers when you don't want them to stick while they're drying. Okay, oh, okay, I could have gotten that part glued. All right, well now we know. Oh, these look so cool. This could probably use a little glitter right there, just a little stickles or something. I think that would be exactly what it needs. Make it look really pretty. Oh, nice. Okay, this is kind of throwing off the whole visual there, but you do get the point, right? I wonder, did I have another green butterfly? Because I could almost use another one there, or I have this washi tape. I don't want a deer. Here we go. This one has butterflies. These are postage stamps. Let's see. Do need to probably go around the edges with my ink here. There we go. This time, I don't know what that means, but sounds really deep. Uh-oh, coming unglued over there. I am coming unglued. Let's see. Why are you doing this to me? Don't be naughty. I'm glad. I never knew. I had no idea where I was going to ever use that flower, but really it could use some stickles on it. So as usual, we're only getting 4 done. Not a great track record, but at least we're getting something done. I keep putting them aside going, I want to work on more. I did figure out, hold on, I'm going to grab my sticker. I did figure out, I sat down and figured out what kind of projects do I want to work on at my monthly craft night, so that I need them to be a little bit low key and not require a lot from me. So some of these projects like this, or just basic collage things, again, that I want to use to dress up my stash, you know, fill up the stash. These are good kinds of projects to do there because they don't require a lot of thought. It was really fun Friday night. Ooh, I like that. See? Sometimes you just need a little bit of sparkle. Oh, that's exactly what that tulip needed. Nice. Okay, so let's reiterate what we did. 1, make sure I'm in camera, in the frame, in the shot. 1, 2, love the Hebrew page. 3, I have to be careful I'm not going to get that stickles all mushed up. That would be sad. That would really make me sad. 3 and 4. This probably could use a label right there. Very nice. We did it, folks. We did it. Yay! Okay, now for the quote of the day. One cannot change the past, but one can ruin the present by worrying over the future. I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. You can't change the past, but don't worry about the future so much that you don't enjoy the present. I remember once long ago when I was working, one of my workers said something about she didn't want to be always thinking so much towards the future that she would forget to enjoy her present. And while she wasn't necessarily worrying, it's the same concept. That you can think so much about what's coming up or in the future that you're not present in the moment. So keep that in mind. All right, guys, that is it. It's a wrap. That's it for today. Until next time, I'd like you to be inspired and do something creative today. I'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks. See you later. Bye-bye.